Take your dealership to the next level with over 6,800 on-air interviews with dealer and industry leaders. CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis. Welcome to CBT News with Cheyenne Malone.
Well, good Monday morning to you. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Welcome back to CBT News. Let's get started.
The National Automobile Dealers Association has alerted Hyundai dealers about changes to their sales and service agreements that may conflict with state franchise laws. According to a memo, Hyundai's new addendums include requirements for facility renovations, new guidelines for store owners and managers, and a right of first refusal clause, which could impose significant financial burdens on dealers. Non-compliance with these addendums could lead to the termination of dealer agreements. While Hyundai has rescinded a risk of loss and damage addendum, it remains in discussions with NADA and dealers to address concerns. On June 14th, a coalition of 173 pro-trade American business groups operating under the, quote, Americans for Free Trade umbrella urged the Biden administration to extend the public comment period by 30 days for the plans to increase tariffs on Chinese imports. The current comment period ends on July 28th, and the tariffs are set to go into effect on August 1st. The group, representing various sectors, including manufacturing, retail, and technology, urges that more time is necessary to assess the impact of the proposed tariffs. Meanwhile, another policy group led by the United Steelworkers Union has called for even stronger trade barriers against Chinese imports. According to Cox Automotive's V-Auto data, retail used vehicle sales surged in May, increasing 15.9% from April and 15.8% year over year, with 1.62 million vehicles sold by franchise and independent dealers. Day supply at the start of June dropped back to 45 days following increased sales activity. Scott Vanner, Cox Automotive Senior Analysis, noted that this rebound marked the highest monthly sales volume since March 2022. Certified pre-owned vehicles sales also rose up 2.8% year over year and 7.9% from April, with 225,704 units sold in May. Meanwhile, year-to-date CPO sales volume is up 0.7% compared to last year. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Cole Frankman, dealer principal of Frankman Motor Company, to hear his perspective on the current automotive market.
Take your dealership to the next level with the strongest team in automotive media. Over 8 million total video views and over 4 billion total impressions. CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis.
Is affordability an issue with your customers today? I mean, the average price of a new car is almost $50,000. It's some $35,000, I think, or greater on the used car side. Numbers are up there. I mean, it used to be that you'd go to a used car to really save a whole bunch of money. But man, even at the $35,000 number, that's still pretty high.
Yeah, I think affordability is going to be an issue for any buyer in the market.
Yeah.
And I think back to the COVID thing, it kind of spoiled everybody because they may have gone through that period and gotten something nicer than they were used to, and then everything's dialed back, especially if they purchased during COVID and you're dealing with some negative equity situations depending on the car they bought. And, you know, a lot of my guys, especially, we talk about a lot, we can forget that they didn't build 10 million cars that they were supposed to.
That's right.
So now people are holding on to the used cars, and then you're missing a bunch of vehicles now that should be there. Combine that with the interest rates going back to kind of a pre-COVID normal level again that people aren't used to, especially a lot of first-time buyers. That's kind of a hard thing to swallow. And we kind of have a 50-50 discussion with customers. You know, if there's objections, it's kind of 50% price sensitive and 50% interest rate sensitive.
Okay.
And some no matter what the price is, they, you know, you see 8-9% interest rate on a proposal and they just kind of turn their nose at that. They're not used to it. They kind of to go through a few dealerships before they know that's the norm.
Right, exactly. Otherwise, they hold it on you and say your interest rates are high, rather than.
I hope I'm not the first place they go, I guess, sometimes.
That's right. With that in mind, are people focused more? They're focused more on payments, though, right? Rather than they are the sticker price of the car or even the interest rates. I mean, it seems to me most people come in and buy based on payments, and if you can keep that monthly payment within their budget, regardless of how you got there, whether it be made up of interest rate or trade allowance or whatever, then you're in a good spot with most customers, right?
Yeah, I think so. We have a finance capture here around 70%. So 70% of my customers do finance with us. We partner with local credit unions, national banks. We got your allies, and we also have your small local credit unions. With the higher interest rates, I have seen, especially the last 4 years, it was payment, doesn't matter, I don't care.
Yeah.
You get to the payment, that's great. Now, when you're seeing some 8-9% interest rates, we're actually seeing some customers, we'll sit down with them and take the time and do the math, and they're calculating interest over the loan. And, people that may have gone from a 72 term to an 84 or a 60 to a 72, they're starting to say, no, I don't want to break the term out because the interest will be too much. So then they're dialing back to term as an anchor point and then trying to maximize their payment. Or minimize their payment, I should say. But that's been interesting the past couple of years. Past 18 months for sure.
Well, that does it for us for today. But remember, it is easy to stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry. All you have to do is follow us. We're on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Cheyenne Malone. I'll see you next time.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content.